Well, today's episode, we're going to be reviewing the latest New Blood show, New Blood 7, that features the beginning of the tournament of the New Blood tag team titles with 4 matches. And of course, we got 3 special matches. One of them features Waka Tsukiyama facing off Nanane Takahashi for the Passion Injection match. We're going to be talking more about that. But also, we got AEW Rampage, where we have Jungle Boy taking on Ethan Page and many other matches. And of course, Action Andretti will be facing off JSA's uh, Daniel Garcia. We'll see what happens. Can Andretti pull off another win against JSA? We just got to find out. And of course, who levels up on this latest episode of Level Up? And of course, we got some news updates we definitely going to be talking about. As you know, we're going to give you some positive messages, positive news regarding what's been happening after the tragic loss of Jay Briscoe and other things, matches that have been booked, title matches, and all the enchilada. So, let's get ready for another episode of Deleted Wrestle Zone.
Are you ready? Get up, get up! 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 Get up, get up!
Welcome everybody to Deleted Wrestle Zone, all things that is pro wrestling with AEW, NXT, New Japan Pro Wrestling, Impact Wrestling, the National Wrestling Alliance, various promotions, wrestlers, matches, and championships. I am your host, J-Rod here. So, let's begin with New Blood 7, hosted by none other than Stardom. This one was just a recent show they have. You can see it free on YouTube if you guys haven't seen it. Our opening match, we have Miran representing World Woman Pro Wrestling Diana, who is one of the much recent trainees to come in at the age of, well, she was 12, and I think she is now 13. She faces off Rina, who is about maybe 16 years old. But one thing that is interesting is after the match was over, Rina commented that she got embarrassed for what Miran called her. She called her an old hag. You know, it's funny because Rina is the one who says that to people like Mina, Tam Nakano, Mayu, and now she's the one who gets on the wrong side of it. She feels like she's never felt old at all. I mean, you got to remember, there's a generational type of wrestlers they have down there in Japan, and I think that's what makes it so funny. But I have to say, Miran really did hang in there, but it took only the Pink Devil, aka the Gory Bomb, for Rina to pick up the match. I wouldn't be surprised if Rina still gets embarrassed that she got called an old hag. Now, our next match. Originally, we were supposed to have this match as a 3-way, but due to the circumstances surrounding Miya Masaki, Lady C was pulled from this match and put into another match instead. It was supposed to be Ruka and Marika Kobashi, who's making her debut in the show. I have to say it was a pretty good, decent match, not to mention a interesting one. However, I think this is going to be a very interesting thing for many fans because people speculate, oh, she signs with Stardom. Just put this on the record for everyone. No, she's not with Stardom. She's still a freelancer. So basically, she chooses matches wherever she goes with the recommendation by none other than Tokyoshi Pro Wrestling, where she originally graduated from. But yeah, we could see her making appearances depending on what matches they're going to throw in. But it was a pretty good one. I have to say she didn't lose a step. But unfortunately, Marika did not win. She ended up on the wrong side of the freezer bomb by none other than Ruka winning the match. But in the post-match comment, she did state that she finds something interesting about her. So basically, much like what we saw with Starlight Kid and Umasaki, we're seeing the same kind of development, but in a different standard. Ruka says she would like to team up with Marika Kobashi. I have to say, let's see it. Let's see how their chemistry and relationship looks like, as a tag team. Because we're seeing that already with Starlight Kid and Umasaki, or should we be known as Karma, who we'll talk about them later on. Now, The match we've been waiting for, of course, Waka Tsukiyama taking on Nana Takahashi. Now, this match was brought upon by recommendation by Waka, but Nana Takahashi wasn't too sure if she was up for it. However, Waka, who still can't pick up a win, asked for this match. Nana wasn't too sure, so she gave her like a little bit of an assessment on Christmas Eve at Corkin Hall. However, she did saw exactly what she needed to see with Waka. So basically, she allowed this match to happen. Waka, who spent the entire New Year's watching pro wrestling, crying, and I think she wanted to show how passionate she can be. She is looking for that one win. I think she put up her best performance against Nana Takahashi, but unfortunately, you cannot beat a veteran like her, like Nana Takahashi. So she picked up the win doing the refrigerator bomb. But the promo was very interesting. Like, I just saw this on the this blog made by Dana, talking about what Nana Takahashi talked about. She can see there's a lot of passion in Waka, but the one thing she cannot have is a win. Now, she feels that she cannot give her a direct answer, but Waka did stated that no matter what, she's still Cosmic Angels for 2 months. So basically, she's gonna go all the way to the end to see how this happens. But what Nana Takahashi was impressed is that Cosmic Angels and Colors were there by her side no matter what. And I think that shows, they do care for her. So basically, Nana told her if she cannot win, if she is asked to leave Cosmic Angels, then go find her. But Waka did state that there is one more match she wants to have with her, but this one is on the 25th of March, which is the New Blood Premium at Yokohama, which is going to be more like, can Waka be the one? Can Waka actually pull off a win? That's the case that we're going to be following. So we'll continue more with Waka Tsukiyama. I may talk more about her on the podcast. I haven't done a podcast episode for a while, but we'll see what happens then. Now, our next matches are regarding of the New Blood Tag Team Tournament. This is the first round. Our first match, we got Momoka Hanazono and Momokogo of Stars taking on the members of God's Eye, consistent of Naname and Amisori. Now, Amisori is familiarized with Momoka Hanazono. If you guys remember, she and Mirai did challenge her with Waka. I think that was a New Blood 2 where they came up but this time it's the same old result. I think this is a really fun match with Momoka Hanazono, and of course Momoko continues to try to prove herself that she's worth everything, but apparently it did not. She ended up on the Blue Thunder Bomb by Amisori, giving them the win. However, right in the after the match, we had a surprise visit from our current high-speed champion, Azumi. It appears that Azumi has various interests in Momoka Hanazono. So basically, if you guys remember, I did mention the showcase event. Looks like she wants her to be involved in the latest false anywhere count match. So basically, she's up for it. But Momoka did say if she wins, she wants Azumi to be her tag partner. She wants to tag with her. So that's going to be interesting to see. Now, our next match, we have Chanyota and Mai Sakurai teaming up finally after that whole thing that took place with that matter. They take on Lady C and Hina from Queen's Quest. Now, keep in mind, this match was supposed to be Hina with Miyu Yamasaki, but because Amasaki had suffered an injury, Lady C was put in this match. And I have to say, it was very solid, but it did show a bit of the strength between both Chanyota and Mai Sakurai until Sakurai applied an elbow drop onto Hina, giving them the win, so they advanced into the next round. Now, our next match, we have Club Venus members Mirai, Mariah May, and Zaya Brooks, along with Mina Shirakawa. They take on Starlight Kid and Karma. However, there was a lot of things that I did was kind of speculative. I knew that sooner or later Karma was going to do the same old thing where she was about to pull off the fireball. It did not work. Xia Brookside was able to get out of it, but unfortunately, in this case, it was Karma who picked up the win by pinning Mariah Mai with the crucifix. But after the match, apparently Karma talked for the first time ever. They put her microphone like in a distort, like she came like something out of hell. So kind of interesting to hear, but yeah. Now our last and main event regarding of the tournament, we have Wingori, members of Stars consisting of Saya Ida and Hanan. They take on the other members of God's Eye, Momoka, Tomoka Inaba, and of course Mirai. Now this is a very interesting tag team between those two, Inaba and Mirai. Those who are not familiarized with their history, let me tell you who exactly something about them. These two actually know each other from their time in Kaientai. If you guys remember, Taka Michinoku had a dojo called Kaientai Dojo. They actually were trained in the same location. It's kind of weird that they met each other and now they get to team each other. And they're not the only ones that know each other from that time. Apparently there's someone else that also was trained under Taka Michinoku, and that is of course Micah from DDM. But in this case, it was the first time that Inaba and Mirai team up, like representing what was at the time the Kaientai days. But they really put up a good performance against him. But it was Mirai with the mirror shock onto um, on Saya Ida, and they picked up the win. So they picked up. So here's who's going to be advancing into the semifinals. We have, of course, um, Nanami and Story of God's Eye. We got Chanyota and Mai Sakurai involved in this one too. Then, of course, we got Starlight Kid and Karma. And then finally, we got Tomoka Inaba and Mirai. So these two. So we have four teams. We got two teams, in fact, are from God's Eye, which is strange. But I wouldn't be surprised if one of them wins. But I feel like this match could end in Starlight Kid and Karma for some odd reason. But we'll just wait and see until we get to that, until the next New Blood or something. I think they're going to do another one next month. I'm not sure. But we'll find out. So we'll end it right here. Let's move on with AEW Rampage. AEW Rampage opened up with Jungle Boy versus Ethan Page. Now, this is a way for the firm to get revenge at Jungle Boy for what transpired in LA. If you guys remember, Jungle Boy picked up the win when he applied the snare trap onto Lee Moriarty. Now, Jungle Boy claimed that this was finally over, but Stokey Hathaway, who is, pardon my language, a crying little bitch that he's always been, decided, nope, it's not over. So he decides to send in the big gun instead. Ethan Page, who was having his little fun, making Isaiah Cassidy miserable, being party hardy with Matt Hardy. But however, the match was exactly like I thought it would be, because we don't know how things are going to go between Ethan Page and Isaiah Cassidy and Matt Hardy. But when we thought that Ethan Page had everything under control, Hook shows up to give him a little backup because it was a numbers game on Jungle Boy's part. But apparently, Jungle Boy rolled him up, pick up the win. However, Ethan Page was not satisfied, so apparently Jungle Boy and Hook may team up again next week, but this time Matt Hardy and Ethan Page will be, in fact, teaming to take them on. So I'm looking forward to that. Now to our next, Tony Schiavone is doing an interview in the ring with Ortiz. Now, Ortiz is calling into question with Eddie's actions what transpired a week ago. If you remember what happened, we saw that Eddie Kingston was about to use a chair on Julia. Now, Kingston, he would have done it anyway, but Ortiz tried to stop him, and then, of course, he said some things to Eddie that kind of got him pissed off, and he whacked him with the chair. So this could be the end of the friendship between both Ortiz and Kingston. Now, Darby Allin, as you know, he's been on a roll recently, had some incredible matches. As you know, as we speak, he's already in Japan, getting ready to be part of the 6-man tag match with Sting and the Great Muta to take on, I forgot who their opponents are. Well, I know one of them is not Marifuji. Uh, so yeah, so he calls out the House of Black, Buddy Matthews, so he's giving him an opportunity for a shot of the TNT title. So basically, Darby Allin is not done with them. Now, our next match, we have Willie Mack versus Brian Cage. Classic match. Willie Mack, of course, many fans know who he is. If you're big fans of Willie Mack, then probably some of you are saying, "Damn it, Tony Khan, sign him." I mean, I mean, it would be great, but we'll see how that goes. I mean, he did put up a good performance, not only with Brian Cage in the same ring in two different occasions, but it took a claw by Brian Cage to pick up the win, and I thought it was okay. It's pretty good. Now we got women's tag team match. We have Leila Grey and Jade Cargill taking on Jada and Jordan Vanity. You can guess this match ended in favor of Jade Cargill because she always picks up the win. Basically, Leila Grey just stood in the back. Now, our main event is Daniel Garcia versus Action Andretti. Now, this is payback for what Andretti has done, embarrassing Jericho, and you probably thought it would have finished what the Jericho Appreciation Society done, but no, somehow Action Andretti decided not to give up, not to give in to Chris Jericho or the JSA's, ways, but it took a running shooting star press onto Garcia to pick up the win. So it's now been told that we're going to be seeing Action Andretti and Ricky Starks teaming up for the first time, taking on the Sex Gods, Jericho and Guevara. So we're looking forward to that. And I think that's pretty much it with AEW Rampage. So let's move on with our final review, NXT Level Up. Okay, so who levels up on this latest episode of NXT Level Up? So let's find out. It opened with Nikita Lyons taking on Jakara Jackson. Now, I have to say, from what the commentators mentioned, these two outside the ring, they're good friends. But the obvious question does remain: can they put that to the side and focus on who's going to walk out the winner? And I think that's exactly what happened. But it took Nikita Lyons with a finishing blow, and then of course applying the splits to give her the win. So not bad, but we know she can pick up good wins once we see her more on NXT. Now, our next interview before our next match, we have Damon Kemp, who is out there, who is challenging, who's being faced off against Tank Ledger. Now, he appreciates a guy like him, but he feels that he has nothing on Damon Kemp. Last time he was a little cocky, but he lost against Duke Hudson. But could that change? Anything is a possibility. So it appears that Tank Ledger did put up a hell of a fight. But you got to remember, Damon Kemp is a master of technical wrestling, so that kind of sets in to him to do that. But it took an Urinagi backbreaker to finish him off, giving him the win. Now our main event, this one's of an interesting way. We got Joe Gacy along with the Schism, Ava Reigns, Rip Fowler, and Jagger Reed. So they're by his side, but Odyssey Jones, he is flying solo. He doesn't have his boys Blade and Inoue. I thought it was strange that they were not by his side, but you know for a fact the numbers game is going to play. We saw an occasion where Ava Reigns gets involved, grabs his foot. It took at least the upside down lariat for Joe Gacy to win. So things are going to be going a little different for the Schism. But what's next for Odyssey Jones? Well, we'll just have to find out and see in the upcoming weeks and months. And I think that's pretty much it with NXT Level Up. It's time for some news updates. Okay. First things first, I alluded on the last episode something good. We want to give good positives, what's been going on. It was revealed that, of course, we can congratulate Cassie Lee and of course Shawn Spears on the birth of their son, named Austin J. Things are going well for Shawn Spears. We just don't know when he'll be back wrestling. We know he probably wants to enjoy being around, being a dad. We know Cassie Lee is taking an indefinite hiatus in wrestling. So congratulations to both of them. So, you know, let's see how parenthood feels for you guys. Now, on another positive note, as you all remember, when Jay Briscoe died, he wasn't in the car alone. Apparently, his two daughters, Grace, who is 12 years old, and Jaylee, who is in fact 9, were in the car. Apparently, there were some injuries that both daughters happened, and of course, um, it was bad. But however, some good news out of this. Apparently, Grace is getting up around. She's getting feeling on her lower part of her body. So it's basically things are looking well. As for Jaylee, his she is basically doing great. Um, she is still being used where they tube feed her, but hopefully tomorrow that they can remove that. Apparently, she's been taking a lot of IV, but she's been sleeping a lot. So we'll see what happens. Hopefully, more positive news surrounding that family after what happened to Jay Briscoe can change. So prayers to Jay Briscoe's daughters. Now, interesting developments. As you all know, I reviewed one time the promotion set up from Thailand. They announced that apparently we're going to have a Tokyo Yoshi Pro Wrestling star making her debut, facing off Matcha, and that person is none other than Yuki Kamifuku. So she will be heading to Thailand to challenge her. I will see if that match comes around, and I'll be reviewing that one. Next up, Nation Extreme Wrestling, based out of Vancouver, has announced for their 24th of March event. Miyu Yamashita will be making her debut, but she will not be alone. She has her tag team partner and frenemy, Maki Ito, returning to this promotion. If you guys remember, she faced off Chelsea Green, and that's going to be interesting to see. Now, promotion No Peace Underground has announced for their upcoming event on the 28th of this month, Samsara. The Best Bros make their debut, and they are being facing off against Joey Janela and Jamie Senegal. That's going to be a pretty good match to watch. Now, for our next guest announced for WrestleCon, we have Boom Adam Cole, baby. So yeah, so if you guys are planning to go to the WrestleMania weekend, then you know Adam Cole is going to be there. So you can look it up on the website. Now, seems like more developments are been coming out of WWE. If you may have heard, apparently there's been some office cuts, so it's kind of messed up how things are going with WWE. I mean, with Vince coming back, it's kind of like I said, a dark cloud has returned. I mean, it's kind of messed up. So I'll keep apprised on that some more as possible. Now, moving on. Now, as you guys remember, I talked about RCW Spain, a promotion based out of Spain, has announced that Takumi Iroha, who represents the Yoshi promotion Marvelous, will be heading her way to Spain next month. However, it appears that she'll be facing Nightshade, who is the current RCW Women's Championship. So there's going to be a title opportunity. So this is good. Hopefully she does good. Hopefully, I know she was recovering from injury, so we'll see what happens. However, related to RCW Spain, it appears that there's some sort of a negotiations between them and a promotion based out of Argentina called Catch Argentino. Now, I never heard of this promotion, but this is why I do this, because there's sometimes wrestling you don't know where it's going to be at. Like, does this country know what wrestling is? Well, it's growing and growing every single time, and that's what I love about it. So, we'll see. Now, House of Glory is announced for their beginning event that takes place later on next month. We're going to have the women's title on the line. We have Ultraviolet taking on excuse me, Viva Van, that's going to be good. And finally, Deadlock Pro Wrestling announced for their You Already Know event that takes place on the 28th of February. The DPW Women's Championship will be on the line as Emi Sakura, our current champion, will face against another Japanese wrestler, and you guys know her all too well, Sumi Sakai. So it's kind of interesting. I can't wait to see it, but I'm looking forward to it. I think that's pretty much it for everything we're going to be doing. So let's just call it a day. All right. I hope everybody enjoys this episode. I will be, of course, reviewing the next Choco Pro event. Well, this time they're in Singapore. It's going to be good to follow that because we know they did Choco Pro in, of course, England. They've done it in Thailand. There's more to watch. Also, we got, I believe we're still doing New Japan Strong with Nemesis. I don't know if there's anything else. Oh, yeah. I forgot. We also got more on the New Japan Wrestle Kingdom 17 in Yokohama. I'm looking forward to that. So that's going to be fun to watch. So I think that's pretty much it. So I'll just throw in for the next episode what's going to happen. So I'll see you guys in the next DWZ time. Same DWZ channel. I must bid all of you adieu. So, goodbye. Mwah. And have a nice day. Bang.